Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Much appreciated. I love you guys for supporting the channel, tuning on in. Going to be taking a break from the radio show this week. I will be back a week later for the start of Dolphins training camp for all our Dolphins viewers out there. A lot more Dolphins content will be coming. I'll be boots on the ground as training camp gets underway. Got a fun Dolphins announcement for myself and content being made. That's going to be coming up pretty soon as well. Obviously, we've been doing a lot of following of the Heat. It's been a pretty quiet weekend on that front. So I'll be off this week. If something crazy happens, like, I don't know, Tyreek Hill actually races a cheetah or races Jalen Waddle, maybe something a little bit more subdued than that. Or, obviously, if the Heat get like Kevin Durant or something like that, or Donovan Mitchell, or don't. I'm sure I'll be popping on this channel to give you guys a reaction, my thoughts on that, and whatnot. Should be a fun week ahead, and I am looking forward. Dolphin season is... I won't say it's right around the corner, but I mean, football stuff is right around the corner, you know, training camp updates, like everybody reports, and there's like 9 days without pads. And then you get that first training, that first preseason game where no one's going to play. I mean, it is going to be football, but I love it. And I cannot wait for it to happen. The only piece of news this week that I really wanted to react to, in regards to the Dolphins, there was this Barry Jackson report that came out. It hasn't been surprised that Sean Payton, he was tied to the Miami Dolphins, or all that report about Tom Brady, Sean Payton, package deal. One of the things that I found interesting about Barry's report, he mentioned what Sean Payton's interest would still be in the Miami Dolphins come next year. Like, he's going to take this year, the step away. Obviously, didn't seem like it was the plan. It seemed very much like the Dolphins were going to get Sean Payton and Tom Brady by all reports. And then this Flores lawsuit obliterated all that. And the Dolphins had to go in a different direction. And in a lot of ways, I do think that it happened for the better. I don't know. Look, I'm not into the Miami Dolphins. I've said this plenty of times. I was not into the idea of the Miami Dolphins bringing in Tom Brady. I think the idea of having somebody who you've rooted so against for so many years come in and be the savior of your organization, I think it's just a weird vibe, man. I think it's a weird vibe. I think it's you're almost on the Tom Brady tour rather than him winning for the Miami Dolphins. And maybe some people don't care. Maybe some people are just like, I will, root for Tom Brady with Curtis Martin in the backfield and every single rival player who I've ever hated, I will suit them all up in Dolphins gear, and I will gladly root them on to the Super Bowl. Maybe that's how you feel. But I do think there are special cases, and I think it's like Tom Brady coming in, winning for the Miami Dolphins. Very strange. Don't think I could have dealt with it. But that seems like it's up in smoke for right now. Focusing on the Sean Payton thing, I found it weird because they were going to go in this direction of having Sean Payton because he wanted a proven coach. Which, led to weird backdoor stuff of like, why didn't Brian Flores want Tom Brady in the first place, other than the whole, he has this, coming from a cheating organization in the New England Patriots, all of a sudden has a very hard time with tampering with somebody on a boat meeting. Very strange. And it seems like Tom Brady felt like he was snubbed and didn't want Flores around. And this kind of trickles down the whole thing about maybe why Brian Flores was fired. Maybe he really was rightfully so, saying that he was discriminated against. And that's why that all happened. And Sean Payton headed for the hills. He's like, I'm going to take a year off. I say all of this in a roundabout way of getting to why something very messy, I think, has birthed something pretty awesome for the Miami Dolphins. This could have been an all-time disastrous offseason in a lot of ways, between the embarrassment of the lawsuit, firing a guy who had a winning record the last couple of years, nearly getting Tom Brady in a lot of people's eyes would be an embarrassment, and also having the option of maybe having a Hall of Fame coach. But I think there is something that has been so greatly salvaged here in the way things have turned out. Number one, obviously, this has been an offseason that has been dominated by the Dolphins getting Tyreek Hill. I would say Tyreek Hill and Tyreek Hill's words, specifically about Tua Tagovailoa, has arguably been one of the biggest headlines this offseason. You put it right up there with like Lamar Jackson's contract and the Baker Mayfield saga. I would say Tyreek Hill's opinion of Tua Tagovailoa, and really his support of Tua Tagovailoa, has been a big headline that has gripped left and right. But the other thing that I think most Dolphin fans are excited about, besides the idea that you have Tyreek Hill aside Tua Tagovailoa, a wide receiver core that looks awesome, is the guy they got because seemingly they didn't get Sean Payton, and that is Mike McDaniel. And I am really hoping, after seeing in Barry's column, that there would still be interest from Sean McVay in having the Miami Dolphins job. I got a little scared because I do think there is some pressure on Mike McDaniel, more pressure than a lot of first-year head coaches, which kind of sucks for him. He's coming into a really good situation and seemingly is taking over a damn good roster. We know that defense is got talent all over the place. He has the best skill position players this franchise has had in a long, long time. Has talked up his quarterback and has comforted his quarterback and buoyed his quarterback's confidence in a big way, where Tua is giving double middle fingers to the haters and, seems to have the backing of the organization in a way he just definitely did not have the first 2 years that he's been here. But that also doesn't mean that he's going to get more than a year. And then hopefully this offensive line, I mean, it's the biggest, I think, roll of the dice for everybody is hopefully that the trickle-down effect of having Teron Armstead, having more experience for other players along the line, maybe less pressure spots, and also not having Jesse Davis, will put the Dolphins in a better spot. But that being said, with having all of that talent around, I do think that it puts a level of pressure on the first-year head coach that a lot of first-year head coaches don't get. A lot of them take over pretty crummy situations, pretty awful situations. This guy is taking over a roster that has had above 500 record the last 2 seasons. Surprised a lot of people that they were going to fire the coach in Brian Flores in the first place. So he's not getting his first gig in the dregs of the league. He's not taking over a team that was 2 and whatever, or is going to take over the team and expected to go 2 and whatever. It feels like very much taking over a team that looked like they came up just short, had some things not go their way. And how can you continue to take this core, which has been supplanted with pretty awesome wide receiver, an amazing rookie in Jalen Waddle, and a quarterback who they drafted very high? How can he take that and complement this great defense and buoy it to the top of the division that has been now taken over by the Bills, who have been your daddy basically the last, I don't know how many years, a lot of years. So I think that for Mike McDaniel, I think he can handle it as far as pressure is concerned. The dude just seems as cool as it gets when it comes to the responsibility of the job, what it means. I mean, his experience in the league is vast. It just isn't head coaching experience. I will say one of the things that I love about it and that I hope becomes something that is regular is, man, I have never heard players glowingly talk about just the person that he is. Most players are just like, he's a good coach, but it's kind of coaching. Everybody just raves about him. Awesome. Nicknames galore. And this has only been through minicamp and OTAs. Everybody just seems to really vibe off what his personality is. But I really am hoping that this guy is given a chance to cook. You tried your little plan of, they were going to go get some legends. It blew up in your face. I hope that Mike McDaniel is given some opportunity to make his imprint on this team. He inherited a good team, a good roster. It's his job to take it from good to very good and hopefully one day to great. But I hope that those expectations, which are really going to be prevalent on the quarterback, I hope that he is truly given an opportunity to see some of this out. Going out here and hiring somebody like Sean Payton, I'm not into it. I don't like the idea of getting a guy who feels like he's coming here for a retirement tour, who has already had his greatness behind him, and you think is just going to hocus pocus, wave a magic wand, and here he is, football czar. Boom, he can make it happen. It's not something that Stephen Ross has really done, to his credit. I mean, he has not been the guy who's like gone after the flashiest name. He has gone after young coaches through and through. It's been, with McDaniel, Flores, Gase, Philbin. This is typically how he rolls. He goes with the young coach. That was Huizinga's deal, where he would go with Bill Parcells, Jimmy Johnson. I know Bill Parcells wasn't the coach, but he was like football czar with his handpicked guys, Esperanto in Ireland. So that really hasn't been Stephen Ross's MO to go after these guys. But one thing that is like, you just never quite know who has his ear year to year. Like, it's gone from like the Tannenbaums to the Carl Petersons to the Chris Greers to, it seems like every year the guy can be swayed about who's really got his attention, his opinion of what things are. And that worries me. If he does feel like something didn't quite go the right way this year, even if it's not catastrophic, he'll start eyeing it to a Band-Aid of somebody like Sean Payton. When I read things from Barry Jackson, like, oh, he wants to be somewhere warm weather, I'm just like, okay, that doesn't smell like a retirement tour. Like, it doesn't feel like you're getting everything to the fullest here. Now, in fairness, Sean Payton will likely, in a scenario, come here with probably Tom Brady or some hand-picked quarterback that he gets to go, whereas, Jimmy Johnson had to come here and deal with Marino, and that wasn't a great marriage, and Jimmy didn't have the success. It was respectable, but, I mean, he did also draft a lot of legends for this franchise as well. So, I just think that, for me, having the guy who's already done it come in and try and be the savior for your organization usually will lead to disappointment. Whether it's Saban, whether it's Jimmy, whether it's Parcells, we have seen this go down a row where you're like expecting, oh my God, savior, they're here. And they just really don't have as much control over it as you think that they do. And especially the idea of the way that they've done it. They've done it their old school way, their old fashioned way. I like the idea of the Dolphins having somebody young, somebody vibrant, somebody vital, somebody who is directly connected there with the play calling, who's got his little walkie-talkie, making all the kinds of crazy things happen, putting his imprint on the play staff, kind of just letting the defense do its thing. I love the idea of having that for this franchise rather than being in a place where it's like, oh my God, McDaniel didn't work this year. Tua sucked, you sucked, let's get him out of here. Let's go with Sean Payton because that'll fix everything. I do think that they were impatient with Brian Flores. Obviously, there were some outstanding factors, whether those be how he was engaging with everybody, whether that was he finding out that they were trying to get Tom Brady, whether that be him realizing they were going and flirting with Sean Payton. Who knows? With all of the cluster that happened with last year, I'm hoping that now, okay, it feels like, for me, I don't want to say it's the most hope anybody's had with the team because I don't think that's true. But I do think that this is I feel like the positive vibes from the fan base are as high as they've been in a while. Sure, there are people who already rats off a ship on the quarterback. There are people who don't think he's going to be any good. But I also think that there's a lot of the fan base that is supporting him and that does feel like he can do some things, especially with the right support system around him, which feels like he actually has. I also just love the idea of the way this guy thinks, the way that it's new age. It seems like he can relate to today's generation just a lot better than other guys are. He is a communicator through and through. He just seems to have a pep in his step, just kind of observing it through the workouts and mini camps that I've been to. And everybody already just seems to just like the guy. So I just think it's important to let Mike McDaniel have his chance to really put his imprint on this organization. I do think that maybe this will be an amazing first year for him. But I hope that if it doesn't happen that way, just on its face, long view, if things don't go the best, if it's catastrophic, all right, we'll have another conversation about this. If the guy turns out to be Cam Cameron with hipster glasses, then okay, we can revisit this. But I'm saying, like, if this doesn't result in the Dolphins getting 12 wins this year and them dominating the division, if this doesn't result in that, I surely hope that they don't think that Sean Payton is the answer. I really just don't think it is. I think it's a tough thing to take over multiple franchises and be that elite. The guy had a Hall of Fame quarterback, in a lot of ways luckily fall into his lap, based on some luck that the Dolphins helped him with for sure. And I just think that that's going to be a tough thing to reincarnate down here. I think that this, and I like the way this has turned out better. If you would have told me, hey, you're going into this year with Tom Brady and Sean Payton, maybe that would have also included going and getting Tyreek Hill. I'm not saying that it wouldn't have, but I do like the idea better of, instead of being on Tom Brady's last legs and being on Sean Payton's retirement tour, I like it better that you may have an actual guru, not a fake guru like Adam Gase, And you may actually put your quarterback that you drafted number 5 overall, that everybody was celebrating like they won the Super Bowl, that you may actually have this guy put in a position to really succeed and to really have a great career. And I think that's a better place to be as a Dolphins fan. I really, really do. Than it is from the standpoint of, oh, we got the next big name coach. Awesome. That's going to work out. Because it usually, what it does is these guys try and take over. They're usually dictatorial about things, and it doesn't. It doesn't happen the way that you think that it is. And it usually ends in big time disappointment. So I am hoping that Stephen Ross, who can be a little bit wishy-washy with what he's going to stick with, and then when he's going to change things, and when he's going to full go, and what he's actually going to support, I hope that this whole thing is given a chance. I hope that this is given a chance, because the alternative to me of Sean Payton being the Band-Aid, not sold on that.